The most important thing that we can do is come to know the Lord, our God, Yeshua, the Messiah, and trust him. Funny thing about trust, though, is that it comes with by way of experience. So you have to experiment on life with him. You have to try his words. You have to hold on to his counsel. Like, try it. What does it look like to walk in love without judgment or condemnation or self-righteousness or the desire for people to come to know you? Like, what does it look like to just walk in love and in charity, and to not be easily offended or try to change or manipulate things to fit your perspective? I know that's something that I feel like we all as God's children struggle with. So what I'm coming to know is that, like, as I try to do those things, I'm not perfect in it, but I find that the Lord, he doesn't want me to be perfect in it. He wants me to learn how to trust him, to trust that even if I get it wrong, he still loves me, and he gives me grace, and he gives me the space to make mistakes without condemning me. A lot of people, they know John 3:16, that it says, for God so loved the world that whosoever shall believe in him or his son shall have everlasting life, right? Not a lot of people pay attention to the next verse, though, which says, for God did not send his son into the world to condemn the world, but that through him they shall have life. And that's what he wants us to do. Now, a lot of times, and I've fallen victim of this too, we take God's blessings and we put them off into the future. We accept his favor, the idea of his favor and his grace from time to time. We call it tender mercies and blessings. But we feel like eternal life starts after death, right? The Lord wants to give us life, and life abundantly now. Like right now, right? So what I mean by that is, he didn't say that eternal life comes from being perfect. What he said was in John 17 is, and this is life eternal, that they come to know thee, the only true God, and thy Son, Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent. So what is eternal life? To know God. The scriptures, they give us a very clear, I don't know, you want to call it a formula to knowing God, which is be still. But how do we be still? Like, life is so crazy. You've got bills due. You've got, all this stuff going on politically. You've got, just people losing their mind, fear, panic, disease, pestilence, earthquakes, fires, and all this stuff. And how do you be still whenever you have all this commotion going on? Well, you have to just set your intentions to do it. You have to set aside time to do that. And my challenge to you now is to trust in the Lord. Set aside some time to commune with him. I promise this will be the best investment of your time. If you will just set aside, a half an hour to just be still. If you can't do a half an hour, do 15 minutes. Be still and sit and wait. And do it consistently. Do it for like a month, 15 minutes a day. And then the next month, I promise you, you're going to want to do a half an hour a day, because of what comes from being still and coming to know God. As we are still, and as we come to know God, we learn that his promises are sure, that he delivers us from everything. There's nothing that we'll experience that he won't deliver us from that's hard. Sometimes we'll have to go through the thick of it first, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They had to get thrown into the furnace before the angels showed up to protect them, right? They had to stand up in their truth and say, I'm not going to bow down to that idol, right? Idolatry is what leads us astray, but that's for another time. Just a little plug, let go of the idols, turn your heart to Christ, right? But for reals, take time, set aside time to be still. And in so doing, you will develop trust in the Lord. Don't just talk to him, talk at him. Sit, wait. Ask him the questions you have. Visualize yourself in his presence, and then ask him the questions you have, and then wait for the answers. And watch, he will begin to answer your questions in ways that you never thought possible. I love you, and I pray that the Lord's grace and His favor and His love and His light shine upon you and your family. God bless you.